Hello Motorrad World fans and welcome to Paddock Talk, talking everything MotoGP from Saturday out at the LeMans MotoGP. And it wasn't a good day, unfortunately, for our South African boys, Brad and Darren Binder. Brad down in 18th place on the KTM and just said he couldn't get into a rhythm. They made big steps on the Friday in FP2. We all saw that. Improved again in FP3, his lap time, but then kind of just hit a brick wall. And we've seen it so many times over the past couple of years. Brad's able to kind of get to a really good pace quickly, and then they just can't make any improvements on that. And Brad still said they're struggling to find that area just to make those couple of extra tenths that they need. In this case, they were quite a way off, to be honest. And he just said he just couldn't get going in the qualifying. His first run couldn't get a decent lap. In the second run, he had a lot of vibration coming from the rear, so hopefully they can sort that out for the race. Said felt pretty good in FP4, but starting from 18th on the grid in modern day MotoGP, it's not like a couple of years ago in MotoGP where he was able to come through the field, and Moto2 and Moto3. This is the most cutthroat MotoGP's ever been. So let's see what he can pull off on Sunday. We do know he is the Sunday man, but he just said, in his debrief after the qualifying sessions, they're just missing something and they can't seem to find it. And that's the frustrating thing, not only for Brad and KTM, but for all of us South African fans, and for any fans of MotoGP and Brad and KTM. So let's hope they can find something. It's looked a little bit dejected, I must say, after qualifying and his debrief, especially compared to Friday, where it looked like they'd found something, and they most certainly did, because he got up to that pace relatively fast in P7 and FP2, despite the crash in FP1, but just hasn't been able to carry it on. And like I said, that seems to be a recurring theme now with the KTM, is it just hit this brick wall. Miguel Oliveira one position ahead of him in 17th, and then Raul and Remy just, a disaster at the moment. So KTM need to find something. Listening to all the comments coming out of the paddock, will they eventually pull the plug on the WP suspension and go Öhlins with 1 or 22 other bikes running Öhlins? Is that the route to go? With all that data that's available and everything, is it time that KTM do? But again, they just won't. It's an in-house racing facility that is with in the KTM group. Can't see them kind of going away from that, but they've just got to do something. They really do, because it's just not working for them at the moment. So they've got to find solutions, and they've got to find them fast, because they're falling away from the tail end, and all the good work that seems to have been done over the last couple of years just seems to be falling away. So let's hope they can find something. Let's try to stay positive. I know Brad and KTM are always hardworking, always trying to find solutions, always trying to be positive. So let's do the same. Let's show them all the support we can. As far as Darren goes, again, just more learning curve. He again found some more time. Just struggles in qualifying to make the best of the soft setup, and I know a soft rear tire, I should say. And I know, being with him the last couple of races, he battles with a low fuel tank. With not a lot of fuel in the bike, he really does battle to get the bike stopped. And at a track like LeMans, where you really are just always on the brakes, and that's another thing that the KTMs and the Hondas are battling with. You're just on the brake, trail braking into corners just about at every single corner. So you're on those brakes all the time. There's none of this brake, release the brake and let the bike, carry the speed through. There's none of that. And that's where the Hondas and KTMs are really battling, and where Darren also battles. On a full fuel tank at the start of races, we've seen him get good starts. Last time out of the race, got a brilliant start, and he's able to really attack because he's got that almost more stability from the full fuel tank, and he feels better getting the bike stopped in qualifying sessions with that soft rear tire, that extra grip from that, and the low fuel tank. He's not having that same kind of stability feeling going into corners. So again, just a learning curve. Improved his time, which is always a good thing, and looking forward to whatever the race throws at him, because it might rain, it might not rain, it might be sunny. You never know with LeMans. But Darren ready for the challenge, and hopefully can make some more improvements there. Speaking of the Hondas as well, yeah, another hard day. I mean, they got themselves into Q2, which was awesome. But again, seeing, Marc Marquez literally going out of pits and kind of just putting his head down, not looking at anyone, because, this time in FP3, he came out behind Fabio Quartararo, got a lap in there, which got him into Q2, and it was great respect from him and Fabio knowing that he needs a tow and kind of a thank you. And it just, Mark just seems like this deflated figure, that having to say thank you to Fabio for giving him a tow. I mean, He's an 8-time world champion, and I know he's in this recovery process and rebuilding and stuff, but it's just seems like a deflated man. Couldn't put it together when he went out in his last run by himself, made mistakes. So the Honda also just really battling, and it's not helping Marc Marquez at all. You're listening to BT Sports, and they were saying, he's just always holding his shoulder. Even from my past experiences, even though he's happy and putting on a smiling face for the fans, he does just look like this dejected figure. And there was a bit of talk about this retirement for Marc Marquez. If he can't string it together this year, or if next year doesn't go too well, could we see the famous 93 retiring? And the way it's going, I don't know. He really is taking a beating. He's got to manage himself with his shoulder and everything. And yeah, it's just not nice seeing this once so proud and fast and nothing can hurt me man, now really taking a bit of punishment. So I hope that he can get it right. I hope that we will see the best of Marc Marquez. Having said that, this retirement talk, let's not forget he won a couple of races last year, 3 races I think in fact. So it's still there. But this year's Honda just looks like a disaster. It just seems like the Honda and the KTMs that are so reliant on that front end, they really need to get that feeling and stability out of the front end, and they're just not getting it at the moment with the Michelin tires that are available. The teams and riders are able to run a soft front tire, which, the Hondas and the KTMs just can't. So they lose that little bit extra with not having that grip and stability and feeling. So let's see what happens there with Honda, but it's going to be a tough race for the KTMs and the Hondas. There's no doubt about that. Pecco Bagnaia, Pecco. That is the masterclass. That is Pecco Bagnaia. Whatever tire pressure he's running at the front, it's spectacular to see that lap time come out. Jack Miller right in the mix as well. Talking about his future. Seems to be a happy little combination there, but it's clicking now. It wasn't clicking at the beginning, so all looks rosy now. But we do know that Pecco kind of has these 2 or 3 races where he's unstoppable, and then some little gremlins creep in, and he's not able to kind of manage those. So let's see what happens there. And then Fabio and Zarco. Fabio looks really good, consistent. Running almost a second faster than the next Yamaha, which is Morbidelli and Dovi, and obviously Darren Binder further back. He's just able to get the best out of that Yamaha, and he's just doing things on that bike that is just incredible. But I do think he reached the limit, and the Ducatis have just got that little bit more. It showed in the qualifying. So it's going to be a hard race for him. It's going to be a race of management. If the rain comes, who plays the kind of bike swap thing to perfection. So I think it's going to be an exciting race. I think there's going to be a couple of riders thrown in the mix. I think Alex Rins is looking good on the Suzuki. I think Bastianini is going to be really good on the Ducati. He shows really good pace. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting MotoGP race out in Le Mans on Sunday. So let's see what happens. And wherever you are, I hope you enjoy the racing action. Stay tuned for our Paddock Talk after the racing on Sunday. And then our full Talking MotoGP live to our Facebook page on Monday evening from 8, or Monday night from 8 o'clock, live South African time on the Motor Rider World Facebook page.